the floor now to the representative of Algeria.
Thank you, Madam President. At the outset, I would like to thank ASG Khaled Khiari for his briefing. We also listened carefully to the representative of the civil society. Consistent with the universal human rights, no civilian, irrespective of their background, should endure suffering. Every innocent life matters. Consistency is a fundamental principle in international relations. A selective, cherry-picking attitude toward international law, particularly international humanitarian law, is not acceptable. For a country to uphold its international obligations and contribute positively to global stability, it must obey the legal frameworks that govern human rights and humanitarian activities. Algeria, as a serious member of the international community, firmly respects and upholds all its international obligations. We firmly believe that the law is the cornerstone of international law. Without adherence to international law, we risk descending into a jungle where might make right and injustice prevails. Regrettably, this is precisely what we witness today. In the occupied Palestinian territories, what we see unfolding before us is not the rule of law, but rather an environment where no rules are respected and basic human dignity is disregarded. Humanitarian access, you can block it. Children, women, and elderly, you can massacre them. And workers, UN staff, journalists, and medical staff, you can target and kill them. These are the new rules that have been established in Gaza. Madam President, since October the 7th, members of this Council have constantly adopted resolutions calling for the release of all hostages. We have easily reached agreement on this matter, but we have failed to achieve one crucial call: the immediate and permanent ceasefire. Today, this is the cause of the suffering endured by all people in Gaza. The failure to impose this essential measure prolonged the pain and devastation in Gaza, the pain on all sides. Madam President, international humanitarian and human rights law guarantees the rights of individuals in captivity, ensuring their dignity and human treatment. Moreover, the principle of non-reciprocity, a cornerstone of international humanitarian law, prohibits revenge or retaliation. Even during times of conflict, the protection of human dignity must remain a priority. Suffering cannot justify another suffering. However, it is with great regret that we observe the Israeli occupying powers' blatant disregard for these fundamental principles. To illustrate this, first, over 9,500 Palestinians are currently detained in Israeli prisons, with more than 3,400 held under administrative detention, without charges or trial. Why are these individuals arrested? What legal ground justify their detention? Second, since October 7th, the Israeli occupying authorities have cut off all cooperation with the ICRC, rendering detainees disappeared. Third, one of the most grotesque violations involves the Israeli practice of holding the bodies of dead Palestinians. Before October 7th, the number of such bodies was estimated at approximately 400, some dating back as far as the 80s. Today, the number exceeds 600. Madam President, the international community must come together to ensure full compliance with international law. Double standards and selective enforcement of these principles are unacceptable. The law must be upheld universally, without exception, to protect the rights of all individuals, regardless of their nationality or the conflict they find themselves in. Only by holding all parties to the same legal standards can we hope to bring an end to the suffering and build a just and lasting peace. I thank you.
Thank the representative of Algeria for the statement. And